Finally, after what seemed to be like weeks worth of cloud coverage and rain and just overcast and just misery, the sun's out. And what that means is that we're gonna pop this door open. So the other day, one of our customers called and said that he was having some issues with his tachometer in his Mooney. He was saying that it was just kind of spontaneous. It would be at like 500 and then it'd jump up to 2,000 and then it would just kind of bounce back and forth, almost like it was sticking. So what I did is I went over there and pulled out the cable, thinking that maybe it was just kind of gumming up in the line and stuff. So I pulled the cable out. Kind of cleaned it off and then lubed it up and then stuck it back in there and tried it. And at that point, it seemed like it was working fine. It was still a little, bouncing back and forth and stuff. But, as we ran it up a little bit, it seemed like it was kind of coming back to life. And then when he came back, he fired it up and noticed that it was still doing the same thing. And then it finally just stopped. So then I went back over there and took a look at it again. I pulled the cable out. And then I ended up pulling the whole Tach out of the dash there, and what I noticed is that the Tach it was seized up, like it wasn't even moving at all. And so at that point, what I decided to do is I just decided to order a new Tach and then just replace the whole line and start fresh. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to pull the old line out of there. The new Tach should be coming in today at some point, and then we'll reinstall that line and put the new Tach in, and it should be good to go. So let's get after it. All right, UPS just dropped off the package, so let's see what we got. So we got the Tach in here, and I gotta say it looks awesome. They even put the hours in here with the hours that we requested, so it matched the one that we took out of there. And that's accurate and good. They got the paint. The paint is correct for a Mooney, so yeah, it looks good. Hopefully it works really well. And we got, obviously we got the new cable here. It's a little different than the one that we took out. Maybe it's just because of the sleeve or whatever, but it looks good. We'll get this in and hopefully it'll work great and we won't have any more problems with it. So now all we got to do is just go get the airplane and get it over here, and we'll just start putting it in. Okay, so now that we got the engine pulled up here, or the airplane pulled up here, one of the first things we're going to need to do is we're going to need to remove this line right here. It goes into the firewall here, and just get that out of there. It's pretty easy to do. Just unscrew here. Maybe have to take this off right here, and then maybe we'll pull the seat out so I can get up under the dash. All right. So now we got the panel off here. We got this, we can access it just a little bit better here. And so if you look in here, this is the bolts for the back side of this line here. So now I can get a wrench on there, get a screw on the front, and get this plate off here. It's probably the same size here. There it is. All right. That wasn't too bad. The biggest thing is just getting these rubber things out of the way. And once we got these out of the way, it was pretty easy to pull out. Now all we got to do is, it looks pretty nasty in there. It's just old. It's probably the original one, I'm thinking. It's probably all gummed up in there, a lot of things, but we'll just get it replaced, put a new one in there, and it should work, should be a lot better. So unfortunately, when I got the package open, I noticed that the glass on this one was cracked. So I'm gonna have to try to get a hold of the manufacturer and see what we can do about that. But I'm still gonna put it in. I mean, the pilot, you know, he needs to use this plane for this weekend. So I'll contact him and see what he wants to do, and I'll contact these people and see if there's something they can do about it. But we're still gonna put it in. So if you notice here, on this Tach here, when I go to try to spin the backside of it, there's nothing. It just won't. It's just seized up and it's solid. But if I grab this other Tach over here, you can see when I spin the backside, you know, it spins and it's just working properly. So that's the issue with this one. So one thing you got to do before you put this thing in here is, you notice on this one here, it's got these clips. So when you put it in there, you have something to screw to instead of trying to put bolts on the back side. And that's what we're going to have to do with this one. These clips that go on this one are going to be a little bit different. I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, so these are the clips that we're looking for. They're just, all they do is they just go on the back side of this like this, and then they just snap in. So when you put a screw in there, you know, you don't have to try to get a bolt on the backside. A lot easier. All right, so now all we gotta do is put the dash back on somehow. How's that Tach working? All right. All right, looks like we got a success, so good to go. We got the airplane back in the hangar. You know, everything, the job wasn't too bad. It was a little more into it than I thought was going to be, just because of how tight the firewall was and that the spacing and everything, but it wasn't that bad. It only took a few hours or whatever, but we got it in, ran it up, everything was working perfectly. I got it back in the hangar, and the customer should be happy, so I guess we'll call it on this one. See ya.